August 9th. August 9th, the dog days of summer. Loddy and Mac on the cul-de-sac talking sports with the commish, with Angry J, missing the Don Father tonight. Lodmac _ Yanks on Twitter. Skygazer Brewing, big sponsor. Chiz Clothing, heading off to college. May yank the sponsorship, we'll see. Twister Baseball Clinics, I think they're going to keep the gates open in the fall for aspiring ball players. I think they'll keep sponsoring. Anyone else out there, if you want to get involved, send the checks to 72 Pine Meadow Drive, Bristol, Connecticut, 06010. That's the Loddy and Mac show. And still working on a big platform change and name change. Keep hitting those comments, guys, because those ideas are really inspiring us to come up with a new moniker, new slogan, new name, whatever you want to call it. So I want to keep believing. I want to be Journey. I gave up on them. We get 2 out of 3 against somebody. We split with the Astros. To me, that was like a huge win. Off to Chicago. We got Cole going. Nothing doing. So I thought we were back. I don't think we're back.
They're not going to be back for about 4 more years.
But they threw up 7 runs last night. I mean, that's quite an output.
Onslaught.
I know White Sox. 25 games under.
They scored
500.
7 runs, and didn't they strike out how many times? 16 or 17 more times?
18, but they had good at bats.
Yeah, but they had good at bats.
Sterling has lost it. He is so frustrated.
Yeah, he's unhappy.
Listen to the name. Listen to the way he pronounces Rortvet's name. Like he can't even say. He's so angry saying it. And then the other day, Lottie and I were listening to part of the game on the radio, and the Stros had scored a bunch of runs on like 4 homers, and the Yanks had 1 huge inning. And he's like, and the Yankees, scored on 4 walks, a hit by pitch, and blooper. And, he's so frustrated. Michael Kay giving it to the Yanks. People showing up there with signs, and now there's going to be censorship on what you can do and say in the ballpark. We'll get to the Orioles in a minute. But, we're chasing the wild card spot, the last one, by 4.5. I mean, we only got to catch the Blue Jays, Astros, and Rays.
That's it.
Yeah, just those 3.
Seattle, I think, is ahead of them
Seattle
by a little bit. Yep.
Is Seattle the last one in right now?
No, Toronto is.
Okay. Jeez. Rodon, surprise, to the IL, and the hits just keep on coming. They either suck or they go on the IL or both. Going back to the Kevin Brown, even Randy Johnson, these are terrible
Toronto
pickups.
Jared Wright.
Guys, you feel free to jump in and disagree, but I'm shifting my focus from the clown. I still say Stay Hot Cash. He's my Stay Hot guy. Hate him. Never will like him, no matter under what circumstance. But I got to put more of this on Hal at this point, and we have to sell this team. We got to go Daniel Snyder on him. He's got to sell this team. He wants no involvement. He wants a little glory if they win. He wants none of the blame if they don't. He doesn't want to have to pay over X amount, which he's set, because God forbid they don't have fuel for the jets. You know what I mean? God forbid that one night he has ramen instead of big stuffed shrimp. But that's why he hands it all off to the clown. The clown can do everything and stay hot repeatedly. But he has so much power because Hal don't want it. The clown goes out and hires people that are nerdier than him on the analytic crew.
It's hard to do.
Believe it or not. And those buffoons go out and change the lineup every single day. Love to know why from their baseball experience. The clown has hired the worst medical/training staff of all time. Between all the guys in Tampa and their days off and their weird ways back, and that we go from that to they miss out on Rizzo wobbling all over the infield after he had a head injury. I mean, to me, he's a toughie, and he had a head injury. And we missed that one. So all this blame eventually gets trickled down to Boone, but not before. And Boone's losing it. Boone
Yep.
has lost it.
He's gonna snap.
Yeah. Did you,
In one of those post games, he's gonna go nuts.
Did you see him
he'll
draw
go
the
over
line?
He'll go over the table.
did you Rome stat?
He's going over.
Everett stat?
He started the weed whacker in that number, right? What was the last? He has whatever.
He drew the line and started a weed whacker.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
It's a sinking ship.
But before it trickles down to it being his fault, and I don't, of course, none of us love Boone, but like, what's he going to do? We fire a coach or two, you know,
Bring in
hitting
Sean
coach,
Casey.
pitching coach. Whatever. We've done this.
Bring in the mayor.
He's done a lot.
Kevin Long, all these
He's
guys.
turned everything around.
But to me, there's no other answer, guys. It's got to be a movement to get him to sell this team.
Well, you wanted it.
I did.
You were ahead of the curve. I'll give you credit on that. And we were talking about boycotting like during spring training.
Yes,
all
absolutely,
of us.
100%.
So, and if you do read the media, if you read some of the stuff that came out within the last couple of days, it kind of adds a little validity to what you're saying, because apparently Cashman wanted to sell at the deadline. I don't know if you guys heard that.
Yeah.
And he was willing to. He was going to do the Bader, the Severinos, go down the line to anybody that had an expiring contract. And Steinbrenner refused. He was trying to save face with the fans, and listen, knowledgeable fans, we would have been all very supportive of the sell-off, because the worst place you can be in any sport is where the Yankees are right now. They're just middle of the road. I'd rather be really, really bad.
Would you rather do what the Mets did?
Yes. I would have.
Yeah, me too.
So let me jump in. Yeah, so I mean, if he wants to sell the team, that'd be terrific. It's probably never happening. But I'll jump here. Like, all this changes if they just change the general manager. Like, if they give power to somebody else to make decisions, that's fine if Hal doesn't want to do it. I don't want him making any decisions anyway, other than maybe to get a new general manager, because he doesn't know what the hell's going on anyway. So let somebody else do it. It's been 10 years of this guy with complete control of the Yankees, and they've gotten progressively worse. They are the softest organization in pro sports. I'm not saying the players individually are, but they've made the way they handle players. Like you mentioned, the medical staff. Every doctor just says take 2 weeks off, and you can never be wrong if you do that. So the Yankees live by it.
Yeah, but they don't take 2 weeks off.
Well, depends what the injuries is. If the guy has
How about a
sniffles,
grade 1 oblique?
Yeah, grade 1 is 2 months. If it's Stanton, it's 2 years. I mean, they don't develop players. Like, he's horrendous. He's horrendous at his job, and things will change if they get somebody else in
You're
there.
saying
Can't get
things
any
won't
worse.
change if we sell it to Mark Cuban or Michael Jordan, all his buddies?
Sure,
Or,
you know why? Because they'll fire Cashman. But
get Musk in there. Get Musk in there and buy this
It
sucker.
doesn't like
It's Magic doing right now.
So you
That's
guys,
what I'm talking
You
about.
guys are talking about like getting new players and selling. Like, I didn't want him to do anything. I don't want Cashman to make any more decisions, because Severino has he's been horrific. Like, they've ruined his career. But the guy throws 100 and he doesn't have a secondary pitch. He's never. And at what point does somebody like help him develop another pitch? He's throwing the ball 100 miles an hour, so he has ability. But he had Tommy John surgery, and most guys miss a year to, 14, 16 months? You guys remember how long it was in Yankee land? 3 years. I mean, they have simulated game. Like,
Well,
Send
before we get
Severino
to
to the Braves and see what we got. Right?
exactly. And
Astros?
I'll bet you.
be Joaquin Andujar.
Yeah, I'll bet you he's pretty good.
I would
But
too.
not with
Be J.R.
and
Richard.
Nothing against Billy McKinney and Jake. Like,
They're being asked
for
to,
10 years,
do
we've been
nothing.
getting this. You know, the Yankees don't have a guy with 50 RBIs yet. It's the middle of August.
How about
Judge gotta be
our
close.
guy?
It's close. So is Glaber.
How about our guy Davey Garcia? He was good enough to start a
And there's
playoff
another
game.
one. There's
He was
another
their
one.
best prospect 3-4 years ago. They DFA'd him. He's
You
gonna
guys-
go. He's gonna go to the Red Sox. Pedro's gonna start working on him. He's gonna be phenomenal.
They have all these great prospects that they never call up, and then when they have no trade value, that's when he gets rid of them.
Terrible. I mean, it's
Greg
absolute-
Bird, Andujar, like all these guys, it's ridiculous.
Commish.
It
Pick
does
one.
not look like a team that is going to turn the corner anytime soon. They're saying, "Oh, we can get the wild card." You watch it if you're watching on a nightly basis. There's nothing
That's
going
bad
on there.
baseball.
It's bad baseball.
Pick
Terrible.
one. Hal or Cash? Shallow Hal or Stay Hot Cash? Who we getting
Cash.
rid
Get rid of Cash.
of? Loddy?
Oh, definitely cash. Definitely.
I want Hal to be gone from the equation somehow. I'm not saying I want to be involved in.
I'm
getting
not
rid of
saying
him.
you don't have any
You know what
balls.
I mean?
I agree with you there.
Here's the thing, Bobby Mack. Neither of them are going anywhere, so it's
don't
just
think
something
so.
we got to deal with.
Well, Loddy, I've been saying this for months. There's one way to get it done. These guys are in the back room counting their pennies like it's casino.
Yeah, we've been saying for a million years, stop going to the games. Every time I look, there's 40-something thousand people at these games, though. Is that what you're saying?
I want to stop them.
We've all been to the new stadium. Half of these people aren't watching the game anyway. It's a social event. It's get your camera, take pictures, and tweet, and they don't care.
The tickets are expensive, though.
Yeah.
And the beer.
Saw on Twitter today back-to-back homers from Damon and your boy Teixeira against the Sox in like the 8th to clinch a sweep of the Sox late in the season in 09. People were jumping on top of each other like Liritz's home run or Boone's home run. Like they were energized because the ball club had a little juice. Can we get some juice?
And look at the AL East. Those are young teams that are just going to keep getting better. Like we're just, if we were in AL Central, I'd be like, all right, we'll be all right the next few years. But Red Sox are coming; they can hit. Toronto's young; they can hit. Baltimore's got the whole package. If they get a couple pitchers, Tampa's always going to be good with what they do down there. So, I think we're a 4th or 5th place team for a few years here.
What can a Yankee fan hope for next year, the year after, the year after? Like when can we get around the corner?
As soon as Cashman gets fired.
Is that just we're still?
Yep.
I mean, that's why we started the show. So we're still right there.
Yes.
I've been right there for years.
And Boone too.
So
Just
have I,
maybe
but
some
I mean-
new blood at manager. I don't know. You got to do something.
Those are
Something-
Band-Aids, though, Kamish. Like, I'm now... Boone is wildly entertaining with these tantrums he's having, but you imagine what he's being accused of by these guys that don't either know or don't care? You know what I mean? Hal gets, ornery and, probably complains to Cash over Caviar every other Friday, and then Caviar's got to be Cashman's got to be the bad guy to Boone. But what's he supposed to do? Look at these guys.
He's got to be sick of it. His
Greg Allen?
post-game press conferences lying through his teeth every night.
What else is he going to do?
If you're a
It's
baseball
that or
guy,
he's going
how
to
can
get
you-
fired.
He's going to get fired. He's going to be the fall guy. It's the path of least resistance.
Right.
If
He's
you're
gone.
him, if you guys could step into his shoes right now, like, would you just know it's coming and just start to be honest until they've canned you? And then
Yes.
that would be
100%.
awesome. Can we get him on the show? Call John Boy.
Play the same team for the next 45 games. Let's see what happens. Be honest with the media. Be honest with your players. That's the way I would do
He
it.
can't be having fun. Is he having any fun? Because I'm not having any fun watching these games. I mean, if they're down 4, you change the channel. If they're up 4, you pray that they're going to make it
I
through.
changed the channel at 1-0.
Yeah, I do
Because they're
too.
not getting 2 runs.
I know. Put a little World Series games on, right?
Fun when the Weed Whacker was started.
That
the other
was-
day,
that was fun.
He
I have to
had
admit.
veins popping out like he was Hulk Hogan.
Kay has said on the broadcast a couple times that if Boone makes a decision that isn't by the numbers, he has to answer to it. I mean, how bad is that?
Why would you even want to do it at this
Yeah.
point? They're going to just take the money.
How great would it be to see Billy Martin in that dugout and
They literally
have
don't-
Cashman
They
try to
would-
call him out?
They would never hire a guy with that
No, he
type of
wouldn't. Yeah, that's why
personality,
Girardi got- yeah.
unfortunately. And that's why they hired Boone. He was a yes man. He was a puppet.
Joey positive. Like, it's right in front of us. You just lost 10 out of your last 11
What's he going to
games.
say?
They're all
telling him-
doing that.
You can say
too.
they're
They're all
bad.
doing that.
You say we're bad right now. Why lie to your fans? They do it all the time with injuries and stuff. Why? Like we're watching it.
Yeah.
We're okay. Like we're right there. No, you're not right there. How about Stan? Base running, terrific, huh?
He's just slow. It's not his
He's not
decisions.
slow. Yeah.
And 4 more at the end of that contract, he's going to be crawling around the bases.
He picked it up with the stick the last 2 weeks.
He's
though.
actually going to be on all. He's going to be on
hit
all
with the bat.
fours.
Use it as a cane to go around the
Yeah,
base.
he's going to get a hit, and then the first base coach is going to meet him halfway down the line and hand him the cane.
100%.
Man,
Oh,
what
God.
a disaster!
And I'm
Might be the worst acquisition in the Cashman era.
You know, you were on that
Hard to disagree with
from
that.
the first second, Lottie.
Yeah.
You're like, we already have this guy.
And Glaber has probably been, I'd
Best
say, our most
player.
consistent, best player.
Hate Glaber,
He's
best
so
player.
hard to watch. The throws to first, the nonchalant. Oh,
Yeah, they do
God.
nothing about it. There's no account. The whole infrastructure is bad. The philosophy of the organization is terrible. It won't change.
I heard a good idea on
You
the
can
fan.
get Otani here, and he would stink.
one of those midday guys on the fan. I don't even know who they are, but somebody said that the Yanks should have like an old school kangaroo court and just start saying $100 for each of these offenses. But like, I mean,
Who's going to do it?
that's the thing. Who's going to enforce that in that locker room? There'd only be one guy.
Yeah, and he's out with a toe injury for 3 months. Jesus.
I know, right?
You think Judge would even do it?
Cole would.
You think Judge is regretting signing or what?
Can I get Yeah, you think Cole is?
Judge is going to be this generation's Donnie Baseball. He's not winning one. I'm telling you, he's not winning one.
You look at Cole when he gives up 2 runs. He's like, "Oh, that's
Yeah.
it. I'm done."
Yeah, and he
He's
hates
almost
Rortvedt
crying,
too.
Oh,
He hates
oh,
Rortvedt.
yeah. Join the club. Jesus.
Rortvedt?
I was clamoring
I'll
for
take
him.
him over Higashioka. I
don't know anymore.
Take Higgy.
How much Stroker?
7 years of Higgy and his 180. Like, come on. And his catcher interferences.
Oh,
Jesus.
Jesus.
How about these
Where's
prospects?
Sanchez? Is Sanchez around there? No. Bring him back.
How about these
Looks like a
prospects
gamer.
we're never going to call up?
Dominguez.
Couldn't have got Salvi, Perez? I mean, jeez, just give us something.
Pereira's coming up next week.
You think so?
Yeah.
Right next to Peraza.
No, he's coming
Right
up.
next to the
Pereira's
catcher?
coming up
Can we
on
get the
on the
catcher?
19th. He's coming up.
The
Can we get the catcher?
He hasn't been in the minors long enough. He's 24 now.
Who's that?
Wells?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 24.
Can't beat out Rortvedt or Higashioka.
How about this?
Jesus Christ. How
He
good
can
is
hit
he?
opposite handed and beat them to the house. Jesus.
Guys, I was going to write down the lineup. Not write down. I was going to make notes on the lineups from opening day, was it the Giants?
Yeah. Judge Point
At
Yard.
Stade?
Yeah.
Giants at the
It was
Stade.
in March.
1-0. 4-0 W maybe?
Something like
I
that.
think we got 2 out of
Usually-
3 against Giants. Anyway, I was going to write down, because we got off to a fairly decent start, right? I was going to write down the Phillies were in early too. The early
terrible
season
in that.
lineups, but early in the season it was fairly consistent. Who would have let off?
For the Yankees?
LeMahieu may have.
We take a pick out of
They don't
half.
No. The
Changes.
first 2
I
weeks,
think LeMahieu might have let
it was
off.
pretty consistent. It was like LeMahieu, Judge,
Rizzo Stanton.
Glaber.
Volpe's got the day off today.
Does he really?
Yeah, we got to call him.
IKF's playing short, so
Cabrera.
don't watch.
Listen, he
IKF,
might be our
maybe
second
yes,
best
the
player.
second
No,
best
he's
player.
playing third. I can't.
Jesus.
Is he who's playing short?
Cabrera.
Oh, no kidding. They switched the lineup then last second.
Well, Cabrera's got his 30th game of the year. He's
Listen
playing.
to 5 through 9. McKinney, IKF, Bader, Cabrera, Higashioka. That is murderer's row.
And then go look at the Red Sox lineup. Those guys hit the crap out of the ball.
I get
Man. And Devers plays every day. Every single day.
Can I have Duvall? Can I just have him?
Take them. I like their center fielder, Duran.
How about the Braves have had 4 guys that have played in all 110 games?
Yeah.
Albies, Acuna, Olsen, and Riley.
So your best 4 players.
They play every day.
Yeah. Imagine
and
that.
I bet they use analytics too.
Jeez. All right, I want to talk more about the Yanks, guys.
Might as well.
No.
Crocker's favorite subject.
No. Who wins the World Series?
I mean, yeah, ask Cal Steinbrenner to a championship caliber team. They'll just
I got to go with the Stros
I'm
again.
going to say Strohs. How can you bet against them?
I'll go Braves. They put their 4 best guys right in an order.
I want to say Baltimore so bad, but I know they don't have the pitching.
Can the
But I'm
Padres
still
get hot
saying
enough?
Baltimore because I'm
No.
gonna root for Baltimore.
Why? Because the pitcher's out? Like,
Yeah.
what's his name?
Who's that?
Musgrove?
Who's that? Who'd you say?
Padres.
Padres.
They're under 500 now.
Pitching's not good enough.
All right. Whatever.
You always throw the Dodgers in there, you know.
Yep.
I saw this on Twitter, and I've seen it recently in other places. And Twitter's not Twitter. What's it called?
X.
I saw this on X. No, does that imply I was on X?
It is. It is.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I read this on the X app. Mm-hmm. That sounds better, right?
Yep.
Guys, is Dwight Evans a Hall of Fame baseball player?
No.
Nowadays, though, I mean,
Oh,
I just went
now
to the Hall of Fame a couple
Don't
weeks
let
ago.
an angry
I saw
even
Shane-
answer, because
I-
like nobody is really.
Nowadays, he would definitely be a Hall of Famer because 260 something, 270 for this generation is actually a good average, right?
Yeah.
Well, it was the best right fielder in that generation.
So what are you saying? Is he or not?
right now?
No,
Based
no.
on his when he played.
Based on the contemporary or the guys he played with in his era, I don't think so. Croc, what do you love Dewey? I know that's your guy, but
Crocker says no, and he's a Dewey guy.
yeah.
All right, Angry. Where were you? Why isn't he?
He wasn't a dominant player. He was.
Not as dominant as Harold Baines?
I don't. Harold
Well,
Baines shouldn't be in either.
Okay.
And
That's
Rowan,
not the way
what
I'm
they're
going with it. I mean,
Yeah,
I
it
agree
is.
with you.
That's what you said.
No, I didn't.
That's
Dewey,
what you said.
Dewey was
Yeah,
probably
sure.
the fourth or fifth
Play
best
it back,
player on
AJ.
his team. I mean, look at that team he had.
It's the era.
Rice and Lynn.
One of the things is you're supposed to be a dominant
better.
player. At no point did I think Dwight Evans was a dominant player. Matter of fact, he wasn't a good hitter when he first came up. He got better. Always an elite outfielder, but
Yeah, I agree with
again, a really good player.
Tough
but
player too.
Number?
24.
24.
As a fan, as a Yankee fan watching, like there were other guys that I didn't want to see come up.
Yeah.
You know, Dewey was like, he was a good at bat. He used to lead off for them a little bit and draw a ton of walks
With that,
later in
with
his
that
career.
kind of leaning back
Yeah.
stance. I would love to see him. I would love to have seen him pitch for the Yanks. For the Yanks. You remember when he would wind up and crow hop and throw in the third or home? I mean, that's a thrill. I've seen it about 4 times in my lifetime, and each time I was like, man, I want to be able to play catch like that. So Dewey, I'm going to say he's Hall of Fame worthy. He's going to get on the old man ballot at some point, and he'd be he'd get paid a lot in today's market.
Yeah.
I also want to say a guy under the radar. I want you to tell me where he would fit in the echelon of catchers right now. What tier? Is our boy Mike Stanley. Like, how coveted is he by teams today?
I don't. He'd be like, a lot like Gary Sanchez. I don't know, because he was not a good defensive catcher with the metrics and whatever garbage they're throwing out at you. I'll take him on my team because he can hit the ball, but I think he would have a tough time even getting elevated or recognized just because of his defensive skill was so lackluster.
What was he like a 15 to 25-ish home run guy for over 10 years?
he was good with the Yanks.
You have 300 homers, you think?
No. Came up with Texas, played very well with the Yanks for those a few years, and then went on to he played with Boston too.
Yep.
Yep.
That's not it.
On the catchers, how about Salvador Perez? Is he going to be a Hall of Famer?
100%.
Yeah.
Got a
think
shot. Yeah,
he's got a
Molina will definitely make it. I'll say under 200 for Stanley. Maybe even under 150.
187. 187.
How many years with the
Snoop.
Yanks? How many years with the Yanks? 93 to 95.
Well, he started out as a Ranger, and
Yep.
for the Yanks, 92 to 95.
Okay.
What a ball club. So Bowers gets on gets on. Judge singles the right center. And this is the top of the first against the White Sox. Bowers gets thrown out going to third on a single to right center for the first out.
Nobody else.
Are you
Glaber-
supposed to make the first out at third?
Yep. And then Glaber hits the 3-hopper to short. And
Jogs.
he made it about 45 feet by the time the ball got to first. Preserving himself, though.
For a playoff run. The push.
Championship quality team.
Let me just jump right back to Dewey. Last time. Career batting average, guys?
265.
272.
272. Commish knows. Homers.
248.
360.
I'm going to go
That might
340.
be high.
385.
Wow.
Wonder.
385. Oh, almost 1,400 RBIs.
How many gold gloves?
For Dewey, only 8. 2 silver sluggers.
Yeah, I mean,
He's underappreciated. He
he's
might
playing
be.
now his first ballot.
I mean, seriously, Dewey. Not terrible.
They got his number retired up there, right, Crocker? At the Fen?
They should. All right. Let's quickly talk a little hoops. College hoops. Getting crazy. UConn's on this tour. Where are they?
I think
Commissioner?
they're done now with the tour. They played 3 games and they won them all.
Crazy highlights. Real good highlights.
I think they could be better
Can
than they
they
were last
possibly
year.
be better?
I think they can. I mean,
Hurley did it right.
He's got some young guys that got to prove themselves, but man, they could be good this year.
Castle one and done.
Yeah, Castle one and done, and Spencer has been. He's starting. He's already penciled him in the starting lineup.
Yeah,
right.
Castle, him, Carabin.
Johnny, he's a
Klingon.
shooter.
He's a 15-point-a-game guy, and kind of a glue guy. So I mean, things are looking good for.
Yeah,
the
they could shoot the ball. They could shoot.
Now-
Who's the kid? Johnson? That came on strong too, right?
Samson
He
Johnson.
was like
yeah.
a game winner yesterday.
Yeah, and they said he was like the best athlete they had, and
Yeah.
I mean, had Hawkins on the team, and
Castle's been pretty good too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just
And
3.
he's not starting those guys this freshman, right?
Are you serious?
No, he hasn't been,
He'll have to.
Castle's going to start for sure, but
Because they'll
Tristan-
leave after 1 year. No, they're out anyway, right?
Castle, they're saying will be a lottery pick. Yeah.
So they might have 2 lottery picks?
Yeah,
Jeez. Husky Land. Things are good in Husky Land. I hope they don't go to the Big 12 and ruin this. I mean, I thought it was going to happen 2 weeks ago, and it didn't, so I'm holding out hope. But this realignment it's like a
it's
soap opera.
craziness. Yeah,
Does the Big 12 really want UConn football? I mean, is that what we're doing here?
They
No,
pack,
they want the
pack
hoops.
20,000 in every Saturday.
20,000
Yeah, they
at,
think 20,000
at
at
the
the
airstrip. The old Pratt and Whitney. Come on. Get out
The
of
old-
here with that.
Kid, go get a crossbow at halftime over
the runway was
Cabela's.
packed.
Isn't Cabela's right there?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. That's about it. I
Fishing-
mean, there's
fishing
nothing
rod.
else there.
All right, so Rutgers, not the same type of update because it looks like UConn's going to compete for a natty. But Ace Bailey in the tank already, as well as some other guys, a big guy. We got another guard. But if this Dylan Harper, number 1 in the country, decides to go to Rutgers with Ace Bailey, they get numbers 1 and 2.
Yeah.
How
That's nuts.
does that happen?
They got a coach that they trust and
Great nil money.
love. They don't have that.
They don't have it.
that kind of money there though.
No. And then Gavin, like the reports on Griffiths and Jay, Angry Jay, you've seen him more than we have. The reports on him are like he's already over what they thought he was going to be. Like,
like a Donovan
He can
probably,
score.
right? Like I mean, not the same type of player, but probably going to have that type of impact on the
Huge
team.
impact.
He can shoot it.
He can
He
strike.
can
He can
shoot it for
strike.
a
So
big
one
kid.
thing they've been missing for a long time is that pure shooter. But I think he's more athletic than people thought, right?
guys, I heard Betsy, if Dylan was
you-
going to go to Rutgers, he would have leaned toward Rutgers.
going UConn, I
but
think.
now I heard yesterday UConn. I mean, that's kind of exciting in this little area about that kind of like turf war. And by the way, Sonoga and Cliff were like, which one was going to commit to one of them first, and the other one's going to go to the other place.
He's not in love with Betsy.
Why?
I saw him play. He's ridiculously talented. I mean, he has offers from like every school in the country. There's no it factor there for me. And kind of like he's just good at it. I don't think he's a
dog?
yeah. Could be wrong. I mean, I saw him play once, but you
Maybe the coach
not
will take
mean. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you could coach that into a kid.
I saw a youngster out of West Hartford play in a summer league game last night by the name of Riley Fox.
Yeah.
him. Oh yeah,
Jeez.
That's
going
a
to Yale.
Is
going
that
to
the
Yale,
Connor
yeah.
kid?
Yeah.
You've seen him?
Just not in person, but highlights. Yes.
Is it the redheaded
Watched him
kid?
several times. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's got an old school game to him. Yeah.
Too. Yeah, he's like
Shot fakes and
reminds me of like Dirk, like a smaller redheaded
Yeah.
Dirk, like Ralph Melf meets Dirk.
It's like Ralph Malpin.
He's
Dirk had a kid.
He's good.
really fun to watch.
very smart.
That's
obviously.
good to hear. I
Still off
like
the
it.
floor.
Love
The
it.
shooting's amazing.
Fundamentals are still something, right?
Another kid who stayed at his high school.
Connor, yeah.
Yeah.
I even heard somebody last night in the it was awesome cage, like old school court, real cagey, down Bristol. I heard the officials talking, man, he should have went to prep school, would have elevated this game even more, and I'm thinking, I don't think so, buddy. Going to Yale.
When did that all
Yeah,
start?
maybe a surgeon.
Jeez, give me the heck out of here with that stuff.
Yeah, Donovan should have too.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that just goes to show you how the Yankee season's going. I'm talking about the recruitment of Tyler Betsy and Dylan Harper.
In preseason NFL, right?
It's freaking August 9th, dude. Why are they getting so worried? It's only August 9th. Wake up, Hal, and sell to squad. All right.
How much money can we pool at this table to make a bid?
I'm thinking a cool 1,000.
I could put up
You guys
a couple
got
hundred.
$250 each.
Listen, Jordan and Jeter can't find their buddies and just say, let's do this.
How about that? Yeah, I mean, someone Jeter.
It's like a
Come forward.
fantasy for me.
What does Cashman make a year? Because the four of us can go in
He
there
didn't- they
for
didn't- his contract.
Oh, that's right. It hasn't been divulged, right?
When he re-signed himself in December before all the other players.
I just need a good I need a good medical plan.
That's
I need
it.
a good medical plan. I'll go do it.
Well, Loddy
Whatever.
said this the other day. We had to settle a score down this establishment to get some lunch, and he said something, and then they did it, and then it worked, and he's like, just pay me my teacher salary and give me medical, and I could do this.
I'll do it.
And I think you
100
guys
grand.
feel the same way,
Give me 100.
right?
Yeah.
Come on, man. Anyway, snake draft time.
Commish, you'd be in charge of my farm system.
This
can do it.
episode brought to you by
That's cool.
Skygazer Brewing and
That was me, I think.
Commish wasn't here last time, but Angry Jay said he would have hated to see Reggie White and Andy Pettit wearing different jerseys, and lo and behold, they did. Loddy just couldn't stomach seeing Bernie Kosar, Bernie for president, right? They say that in Ohio. And Craig Nettles, playing for the Pods. The Don father, he's not here. He hated seeing Clemens and Pierce. He's such a Boston homer. And myself, I said Dorsett and Emmett Smith. They're Cowboys, man. Come on, they're Cowboys. So the commish is here for his first go around in the snake draft of who'd you hate to see playing for the other team.
I'm going to buck the trend a little bit here and not go with the player. I'm going to go with the coach. One James Calhoun leaves, retires, could have gone off in the sunset. He goes to St. Joe's. I would have liked to see him stay around, get the Alley state championship, national championship, and maybe hand it off to Hurley and go from there.
I thought you had somebody else in mind, but that's a
Commish,
good one.
I thought you were going track and field. No, it's okay.
No, I don't want to.
Family show. We're good. Yeah. All right. Angry Jay.
This one was drove me nuts too. Brian Dawkins, as a diehard Eagle fan, Dawkins putting on the Denver Broncos uniform was an awful day. They didn't know. It was like Joe Banner was the Eagles general manager at the time. He's still
Isn't that the Incredible Hulk?
no, that's
David,
David Banner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
great show.
we might as well had David Banner doing it. But just seeing Dawkins put on that terrible orange, it just was awful. It was an awful
How
day.
many
for-
years was he with Denver?
Just two.
I was going to say not
Played
very long.
2 years, but they were afraid to. He became more of a box safety and stuff, and it's just awful. Everything about it was awful. Still awful to this day. Brian Dawkins would be my next guy.
Lottie.
My guy is Chris Mullen for me. When he wasn't with Golden State and Hardaway and Richmond was just odd for me because I would stay up for those games.
Run
those
TMC?
Yeah, I would stay up for those 10:30 games on TNT or whatever it was. And then when he got traded, when the rumors were, and I don't remember the circumstances, whether it was a trade to Indiana or it was a free agent, but the big rumors was he was coming to New York. That was his lifelong dream. He grew up in Brooklyn, so forth and so on, went to St. John's. And then when he ended up going to Indiana, which was the Knicks' rival at that time, it was just weird seeing him, that number 17 with the Pacers, so I'll go Mully.
What was a better show? The Incredible Hulk or the A-Team?
Incredible Hulk.
I'm partial to the Incredible Hulk. I wasn't
You
a
said
huge
great show.
I wasn't a big fan of the A-Team and Mr. T and all that. Nah.
His name was
B.A.
B.A.
Baracus.
Baracus, yeah.
I got to say,
So, what do you got?
the Hulk.
You're
You won't,
going
like
Hulk?
him, you won't like him when he's angry. Just busting out of that shirt.
He didn't want to be that way. I mean, just
No, when he got triggered.
that's what I'm saying.
That's what the kids say.
So I'll give it. Do you know who he finished his career with? Chris Mullen.
I think he
David
went back
Banner?
to Golden State.
Nicely done. Yes.
I'm back to
he
Golden
was
State.
traded for Eric Dampier.
Okay.
Remember him?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
Mississippi State.
And Dwayne Farrell.
I remember
Dwayne
him.
Farrell,
Wake
Georgia
Forest?
Tech. or
Georgia
what?
Tech.
Wake was close, though. Same
It
color.
was close, same colors. I'll give it that's. Did he get double digits his last year? You still got
No,
it
he
there?
played 20 games.
Oh, okay. All right.
Who was he better for, the Pacers or the Warriors?
Golden State, he was terrific.
That was Run TMC?
Yeah.
I know somebody's got that T-shirt.
He was one of the best players in basketball, but with Indiana, he was on teams that contended.
Is
With
he-
Larry Bird as the coach.
Is he overrated or underrated?
I think under.
Mullen?
Yeah.
Once he sobered up,
Yeah.
he became underrated. On
He
the
had a good
92
career.
Olympics.
What's that have to do with it?
He was fat and out of shape. He got himself in shape. He turned himself.
And Don Nelson came at the right time of his career.
Yep.
He let those guys get up and down the floor and didn't care much about defense, so which was perfect for him.
Nelly. Oh, God, somebody.
You ever seen a picture of him lately?
No. Oh, I have. Yeah, he's on like an island or something like that. Or
He hangs out with like Willie Nelson.
Yeah, he's a
and stuff.
big fan of Willie Nelson's lifestyle.
So Molly run TMC, and then they made a run with the Pacers.
Yeah,
Right?
they lost to the Bulls, right?
They went.
They made
I
a-
think
they
they
made a
lost to the
final.
Lakers in the finals one
Who'd
year.
they beat in
Yeah.
the conference finals?
They lost to that particular team quite a few times in the
Regular
playoffs
season?
too.
Oh,
In the playoffs.
oh,
Larry Johnson's 4-point play. Who was that against?
That was a great shot, by the way.
It was a
he
great
got
shot.
fouled, took 3 dribbles, and made a jumper.
But when Patrick Ewing also shanked the finger roll, that was against Indiana as well. So
who started at point guard for that Indiana team? Was it Best or
Mark Jackson,
Mark
or
Jackson.
Mark Jackson or
Travis
Jalen?
Best got some.
Did Jalen
No.
start? No, he came after.
We were coming back from a Yankee game when Reggie Miller had that.
Oh my God,
8
that was
points,
crazy.
yeah.
Yeah.
8 points in 15 seconds.
Who was the center?
Dale
Smits.
Davis.
Smits.
Lloyd Smith, yeah.
Who was the backup center?
Uh,
They have Brad Miller.
They had him for a while, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, the Davis boys.
those are good
That
teams.
team was loaded, dude.
Larry Brown, Larry Bird.
Antonio Davis was tough.
Did they have McDice for a second? No,
Yeah, they did.
maybe. Yeah.
No, Denver did. I like Anthony Davis. He seems like a cool guy to play with. Anyway,
Who's your guy? Who you got?
yeah. So Dorsett and Emmett Smith, and I had somebody and changed just last minute.
Golden Richards.
They play for anybody else?
I don't
Number
know.
83. I got Mattingly. I still am sick to my stomach seeing him in another dugout. Dodgers, Marlins, now these guys, and I think he got a bum rap with the Dodgers because the guy Ethier didn't like him. The guy Ethier was gone like a year later. What was his first name? Andre
Andre.
Ethier.
Yeah.
And then goes to the Marlins. Impossible situation. What they do, they develop players. Heard a great conversation with him on the radio, and it was all like old school baseball. That's how he ran the team, and a lot of communication with the young guys. And what they do, they develop great talent to go out and play elsewhere. Yelich, the great Stanton, these guys.
Bobby Mack. Do you remember how well he handled that situation when Fernandez unfortunately passed away? Mm-hmm. That's my lasting image of him as a Marlins guy. How well he handled that
'Cause he's
that
classy.
team in that clubhouse and how well spoken he was during that time. And how he's not somehow in our organization.
I don't get it.
Is just.
What do we have him bench coach for like a year?
I don't
or
even
two?
care if he's not in the dugout. He needs to be upstairs doing something, right?
I want him in the dugout. That's
I
a
say just
baseball
put him in
guy.
the dugout, right? Just put him in right
Don't
now.
even
right?
don't even name his job. Just put him in the
If
dugout.
Hal wants to sell tickets, put him in the dugout,
love
right?
it.
If
I
that's what he's
love it.
worried about.
I love it. No, I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Bring them all down there.
Bring Willie back.
How come Willow never got a job again?
Bum
Did a
rap
good
for
job
some
with
reason.
the Mets, no?
Thought so.
Angry Jay, you got any insight into that? How come Willow never got a job? He did a great job with the Mets.
I take him on our squad.
Playing second.
Yeah, that's player manager.
Exactly.
I have no idea. I thought he was pretty good too, actually.
Runner up for me.
He could definitely send guys from third a lot better than. What do you think he would have done with Stanton there the other day? Holy Jesus!
The way they're having guys hit the ball right now, and this guy's laziness bothered me too, because he wasn't exactly a hustler. He didn't like sweat a lot. But Robbie Cano as a Mariner, I didn't want to pay him either. But like Robbie Cano as a Mariner, that would make it's like nails on a chalkboard because he
That's a good
probably
one.
could have ended up with about 600.
Or you would have been a Hall of Famer.
600.
If you didn't
Yeah,
get caught, though,
BDs.
too, with the stuff.
That's
but
fine. I mean,
Duke
they got to
hit.
lay off that stuff.
He
off.
was
Duke
made
hit.
for Yankee
Man, he
Stadium.
could hit.
Yeah, he did go. It's just obscurity up there. you stopped paying attention when he was.
Yeah, and then they try to resurrect it with the no, he was done.
I like that one.
But I wanted to say this. I hate to jump back. Apologize, listeners, but like going back to these guys that we won't trade off. But there's all this hullabaloo about the Martian, who, by the way, he looks like a portly little guy I don't want on my team anyway. Looks like an unathletic, non-hustling dude, right? Pereira, all these guys. Florio, who we've already DFA'd him one time. He comes back, right? We won't play these guys, whatever. When Cano came up, there was another guy that came up with him, and I forget who it was. We could probably come up with the name. But the two of them are in the infield at the same time. Maybe one of them wasn't like a left fielder, but like I can remember them being in the lineup. I'm like, Robinson, who? What? And I was paying attention. We didn't have Twitter or X back then, but like I was paying attention to the daily news and stuff. Who's this Cano? 2 hits.
Yeah, they gave Tony Womack 1 month, and they're like, "Yeah, let's bring the kid up." That would never happen now with the service time crap.
Yeah. Next night, 3 hits. You know what I mean?
That
Next night,
ninth.
home run, 1 for 5. Like he just hit, and jeez.
Changed their whole season because I think they were like 11-19 or something, right?
Well, yeah, they had Teixeira.
Not yet.
Teixeira was after, but
Yeah.
they had Teixeira, Cano, Jeter, and A-Rod. They played all the time until, Teixeira.
Every once in a while, Nunez went in there.
Yeah, but they played every day. Now,
So did Posada, basically, right?
Would Jeter be a platoon guy with Cashman's Yankees now?
Play center.
Playing third tonight.
Batting eighth.
What kind of team is it?
Derek, my math department says, you only.
Yeah, Torrey didn't screw around. He played the same guys every night.
What a concept, huh? Play your best players.
You know what? We thought he was asleep at the wheel. What he was is he's trusting his team. He's trusting his guys.
Zim kept waking him up. Zim would give him a couple elbows.
Oh, they were spooning over there in the dugout.
Choke on that peach pit.
All right. Moving along. This episode is sponsored by Skygazer Brewing. And it's one of my favorite episodes every week, guys. This is Who Would You Rather. Now, if you've been following the last couple episodes, you know that we've been going like teammates, tandems, and triplets, and then this, and then 1-2 pitchers, backfields, blah, blah, blah. Today, we're going to do outfields. All right? And I got a general idea of the years on most of these guys, but like the era in the years. If we have to, we can look them up quickly. But we're starting out with lock in, guys. 90s, early 90s, Blue Jays, and I loved this outfield until I learned to not like some of the guys, but like Jesse Barfield, George Taco Bell, Lloyd Mosby versus I had to mess around with the left fielder here, but I found the one I wanted. Soriano, Bernie, and the Warrior, Paul O'Neill.
Well, that's an easy one.
I don't think it's that
I'm thinking
easy.
the Yanks in that one, 100%.
Who are we taking? Come on.
I'm gonna go Toronto. I'm gonna go Bell, Barfield, Mosby. Barfield was a phenomenal right fielder. Mosby, I think, was underrated, and Bell was a stud. He was underrated.
Remember his nickname from Chris Berman?
Taco.
George Taco Bell. Yeah.
So
Yeah,
give me the Yankee guy. Give me O'Neill.
He went Soriano.
And Soriano.
Bernie, the Warrior.
I just think Bernie and the Warrior, when Soriano was
Little
in left
older.
field, were in the twilight. So that's why I'm going with the other guys in their prime.
I'm going with my guys. I'll take Bernie and O'Neill any day. I'll take him now. Bernie's fat and O'Neill's like 60, and I'll take him now.
Don't shame him.
The rest of the Yanks.
Thanks.
All day.
Bernie was like super clutch. So was O'Neill. And Soriano was like a borderline Hall of Famer too, isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
400 dingers, and
I just remember Soriano not hitting a slider.
Oh, my God.
they're still bouncing.
I know I say it every episode, but I can't get it out of my head. He was very good, but he couldn't hit good pitching.
Yeah, this was late for the Warrior and Bernie. You know who I also had up there was Knobloch, and I put Soriano instead because when Nobby went to left, the other two guys were still hitting though.
Yeah.
And Nobby, his career went sideways. I mean, this is a rookie of the year who who had over 200 hits a couple years for the Twins. We got him, and he can't throw the ball freaking 20 feet unless he hits Keith Olbermann's mother in the face or something like that. Remember that? Mm-hmm.
He started hanging out with Shane Spencer too much at night.
Yeah, right.
I mean, if he hit Keith
I'm going
Olbermann's,
Blue Jays, by the way. Go ahead.
he hit Keith Olbermann's mom in the face. I'm all right with that.
Come on, man. You're so angry. All right, we're going all Yanks on this one. And I never saw any of these guys play, so, I mean, just by legend, I guess. But the M&M boys, Maris Mantle, and do you guys know who their best third guy was? Converted catcher, because Ellie Howard, I think.
Yeah, Yogi Berra.
Yogi Berra. All right, versus the Babe, Mr. Combs and Bob Musil.
I'm going 27
seriously.
Yankees. That's the best lineup ever.
Murderers Row, those
Earl
guys.
Combs is, if you look up his stats, he was ridiculous. He doesn't get any because
Musil's over 20,
yeah,
20 a year, maybe?
yep.
Over 20 a year?
He could hit him and he obviously, but Earl Combs he was a machine. He was like a 200 hit guy every season.
I'm going M&M boys just because I think it's a more recent thing. And Yogi's in there.
And if you look up Babe and Lou's RBI totals, they're pretty impressive.
I'm going to go with any trio that has Babe Ruth because he's the best player of all time.
Commish.
Hard to bet against the 27 Yanks. I'm going to go with them.
Funny you should say hard to go against anyone with Babe Ruth in there because the next one I've got McCovey, Mays, Felipe Alou in the outfield versus Ty Cobb and whichever two you'd like to take. and the best two that I found,
They had a Sam Crawford.
Sam Crawford and Hillman. I don't. Sam Crawford's stats are pretty impressive.
Most triples in a season.
What was Hillman's? But anyway,
For all time.
most what?
All time. Most
Trey
triples
Hillman?
all time. Sam Crawford.
Joel Hillman, he was a backup point guard for the
Number
Hoosiers.
44. On 87 national.
Who you
titles.
taking?
I'll take Ty Cobb. He's my guy. 367.
Well, you kind of act like him.
The
Yeah.
fact that you knew
I played like
Crawford.
him. 367. I mean, how do you argue with 367? Cashman platoon him, but launch angle.
God.
Launch angle wasn't good enough.
What do you got?
You got McCovey and Mason.
And to say, hey,
I don't even know who the other two outfielders are.
Felipe
Top.
Alou.
Felipe, ooh, he was. I'll go to Giants.
Me too.
Sure.
Going Giants. You guys know the story of how the Mets got their colors?
Yes.
What is it?
No.
The Brooklyn Dodgers and the New York Giants
Yeah.
combined the blue and orange.
Good job.
And they kept
Didn't
the
know that.
interlocking NY of the Giants.
Giants.
Yeah. All right. Let's get more relevant. We're going to go Joe Carter, Kenny Lofton, Manny Ramirez. Excuse me. It's not Joe Carter. Albert Bell. Or Joe. Is it Joey or Albert?
It's
It was
Albert.
both, right? At some point,
Which one was it?
Joey in college?
Albert
He
in
went by
with,
Albert.
with the tribe at that time.
And
Because Carter was just gone. It's
a Yankee fan actually called him Joey. Was it a Yankee fan?
Yeah,
When he
somebody
threw the
did
ball
call
out?
him Joey.
He
Yeah.
flipped out.
No,
Anyone-
it's for the baseball.
Yeah, through the baseball. Yeah,
Was
Joe-
it Fernando Vina that he also?
Albert had some emotional issues.
All right, so
I love that guy.
Albert / Joey Bell out of LSU, is that right?
Yep.
I think you're right. Yep.
Kenny Lofton out of Arizona also played hoops, and Manny from the Bronx
Man, what a team.
versus Jim Ed Rice, Dwight Dewey, borderline Hall of Famer Evans, and Fred
Fred Lynn.
Lynn. Who you taking, man? Give it a second. Albert / Joey Bell,
Wow, that's a good one.
Kenny Lofton, Man Ram.
I'll go to the Indians. I'll tell you what.
Boy.
Rice and Bell are comparable. Rice is in the Hall of Fame. Bell won't make it because everybody hated him. But if you look at their numbers, they're very comparable. Rice was a dominant player in the 80s.
He'll tell you about it too.
Lynn actually won MVP and Rookie of the Year in 75, which is impressive. But we had looked up Kenny Lofton's numbers on, I think, on the last podcast. And
Surprising,
yeah.
yeah.
Real surprise. And, the stolen base factor was huge. I'll go with the Indians only because Manny Ramirez was such a good hitter.
Yeah, I agree.
Like he's an all-time hitter. I mean, steroids and all.
Remember the night we were down there and he hit 3? They had all the flags down there.
Yep.
He was a rookie. I don't even think we knew who he was.
Yeah, he could hit.
All right, this next answer sponsored to you by Tums Commish.
Oh, I'm going with the Indians. Like Jay said, Manny was a scary hitter. Lofton was underrated, and Albert Bell could have been a Hall of Famer. I mean, unbelievable, tough guy.
Should be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, Indians.
Loddy.
That's a really good question. You're talking about 3 of the best right-handed hitters in the history of baseball. I'm not afraid to say it. Like maybe Rice that's a stretch, but Ramirez and Bell and Rice, what right-handed? I'm gonna go surprise. I'm gonna go with Red Sox.
Me too.
Only because of also the defensive component. Lynn can pick it in center. Rice knew how to play the wall. Dewey, we've already talked about
8
it.
Gold Gloves.
I think it was just a better defensive outfield, and I don't think they were slouches up at the plate either.
I'm going Sox because it's non-steroid great outfield, and the other one obviously besides Lofton, and who knows because he hit the ball at the ballpark. No judgment because I wish they'd allow steroids right now and just stop testing. I mean, let them do it. I mean, you see where it gets you.
I think Albert was clean.
You think he's just that angry?
Yeah.
That's why you like him.
Guy could hit. That's why I liked him.
All right, let me move on.
Wasn't he platoon with Cash?
No, him and
Only
Bauer.
play
Him and
against
Bowers
lefties.
in left field.
Before one, Barry Bonds' head was bigger than Matsui's, and he went to San Fran. He was a wiry, strong left fielder for the Pirates, and in the outfield with him were
Andy Van
Slyke in center and Bobby Bonilla. Okay,
Still getting paid by the Mets, right?
Yeah.
did he play third back then, or
Yeah.
he played both?
Came
right?
up as a third baseman, I think.
He played both. 2002 Braves, scary. Speaking of extra large heads, bigger than when they were signed, Chipper Jones went to the outfield in 2002. Definitely no steroid use. He went to like an 8.5 hat size. Andrew Jones in center, who's either, whatever way you want to say it, one of the most nonchalant center fielders of all time, or one of the best, because he could go get him and make it look routine. And you guys remember who was in right field?
Klesko.
No, he
No?
was at first.
Justice.
No, righty. Yanks had him. Number 11.
Oh, Sheffield,
Sheffield.
For not too long, yeah.
So we're going to go Bonds, Bonilla, Van Slyke, Sheffield, Andrew, Chipper.
I forgot that Sheff was with the Braves. I'm going to surprise you guys. The Pirates at that time were basically, when they were on TV, I watched them because the Yankees were so bad in the late 80s and early 90s, and Pittsburgh was good. I loved Bonds and Bonilla and Van Slyke for the Pirates, and I remember that team. And boy, they came so close against the Braves a couple times, right? So I'm going Leland's outfield.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
The guy who got the hit, maybe Barry Bonds' last throw or inning or game
Who got
for
the
the
hit
Pirates.
it was the
it was a righty for the Braves
it was a
into
pinch
left
hitter.
field.
Was it like Cabrera?
Yeah.
What
Her
the-
last name was Cabrera.
Francisco Cabrera?
Yeah.
Who scored? Ex
Sid
Pirate. Ex Pirate.
don't
Limping
know.
around third.
I don't know. Oh,
He was
Sid Bream.
He was faster than
No,
Big G.
Was it Sid Bream?
Yeah. Who was the catcher?
Big G would smoke him.
LaValliere.
Mike LaValliere. Yep.
I love those Pirate teams. I like Leland a lot. That's why.
I'll take. I'll second that. I actually like Bobby Cox too, a little bit.
We heard.
That's hilarious. I'll take the Braves guys because they're all Hall of Famers. What's the next one?
No, I would take
I
the
didn't
Pirates.
pick mine. I'm taking the Braves, man. Those guys get hit. I hate Chipper Jones. Like, I don't hate a lot of guys. There's something about him that bothers me. Andrew, I love. Sheffield, don't want to love him, but he's got a little Albert Bell in him yet, right? I mean, just an angry dude. Whatever. Moving on to the 94, my least favorite baseball season of all time. In my mind, my least favorite season of all time. But north of the border, the Spos had Larry Walker in right, Marquise Grissom in center, and Moises Alou in left. Okay. In 88, the Sox threw out the Gator in left, who, by the way, had a thing for a minute.
It was good.
Ellis Burks, who also had it going, at least when he was there, not so much as a White Sox, and still Dewey and Wright, 1988 Sox. Is that a no-brainer? Are we going Spos all the way?
I'll go Expos. Yeah.
Yeah.
Better all around.
That's who the Yanks were going to play in the World Series. So I'll go Montreal.
Les Expos sweep there, but the Gator was underrated, man. Had a couple
He was
really
good.
good years. This episode sponsored you by Tums.
What is that going on? My salsa.
Going further back, this is for Angry Jay. He loves these kind of old-timer teams. And by old, we're not going past like the 80s. Well, maybe a smidge. We're going to go.
Honus Wagner and who?
No.
No, okay.
Played short. 82 Angels. Downing in left. Freddie Lynn, again, in center. And Reginald Martinez Jackson in right.
Do you know what Brian Downing's nickname was?
No.
The Incredible Hulk.
Banner?
Okay.
Yep.
Great show.
Number 5.
He had the same haircut as the Incredible Hulk.
Okay. I like those teams too.
Going to 76 for the next one. I think it goes like this around the
You're
horn.
going Reds.
Griffey
Yeah.
in left, senior. Cesar Geronimo in center. Anyone want to guess the youngster hitting a lot of home runs in right field here? Number 15, also a Met.
George Foster.
Yeah.
George Foster, not related to Randy.
Griffey wasn't right.
Oh, went right and Foster and left?
Mm-hmm.
So you say. All right. 82 Angels, 76 Reds.
76 Reds.
Why?
Sure. Just because they were a winning team. Great run. And I think better. Downing was not a great player. I go with the Reds.
Reggie was near the end there, too.
That was the Naked Gun days, right?
Who's in center for the Angels, you say?
Fred Lynn.
Freddie. Wow. Freddie and Reggie were in the
Twilight.
on the downside.
Geronimo couldn't hit, though.
He couldn't hit. By all accounts, he was a phenomenal outfielder. Obviously, I don't remember that. Griffey can hit. Foster. I don't think it's as clear cut as you think, but I'll say what Commish said. Just 76 Reds. That was one of the best teams of all time. So
And I think
I'll go with them.
those guys came up through Waterbury, too, right?
Waterbury Reds.
Yeah.
George Foster hit 52 dingers in 77. Won MVP.
Oh, and it wasn't a thing. Like, nobody did that.
Who was the next guy to hit 50 home runs?
Cecil Fielder, who caught his home run ball. Oh, well, this has been on the pod, but who caught it?
One Keith Harkness.
Who was with Keith Harkness that night?
Some other dude that gets pissed off once in a while.
Angry one was there. Angry was there.
Angry Jay.
Harkness really caught the 50th home run.
Didn't we tell this story on
Yes.
here?
I thought I know you. Wow. Did
He
he?
actually
Did
jumped
anybody?
down.
Did any? What's
He
that?
actually jumped. Remember how the old Yankee Stadium was?
And that's right. That's
He
right.
jumped
They
down.
took him downstairs and the whole thing. That infield for the you don't even think about that outfield for the Reds. Everybody just goes right to that
Yeah.
infield. Just how legendary infield.
Concepcion and Morgan up the middle. Perez and Rose on the
Yeah.
corners.
Yep.
Good thing the catcher sucked.
4 to 5 guys are in the Hall of Fame.
But
Jesus.
think about what the Yankees
Yeah,
had
and the
though.
fifth one. Are you kidding me?
No, Concepcion's the only one who's not in.
Well, Rose ain't in.
Well,
Yeah.
he's not in, but
Would you take that,
Wasn't dominant.
Bobby Mack? Not this, not to step on your thunder here, but A-Rod, Jeter, Cano to share an infield or that red infield?
No, it's tough. You know what? Let's all research that a little bit and come back next episode.
Okay.
That's a good one.
Lottie. Good point.
All right.
All right. Did I give mine? No, I'm going Angels, man, because that team was good. Bobby Grich and the boys in the infield, right? That team was on the move. They have
the Senseis and Grich and
Doug DeSenseis.
First base was still Carew.
Oh, yeah. Rob Wilfong was on the team, too.
Wilfong.
Who was the pitcher, the black pitcher that was troubled?
Donnie Moore.
Donnie Moore. Jeez, root for Donnie Moore. All right. Enough baseball. It's almost fantasy football time.
Don Father doing his research. That's why he's not here this week.
He's gonna
be locked and loaded, though.
He's going to miss this, though, because staying with, like, the, team-up type of deal, I'm going wide receiver corpse. Wide receiver corpse. So there's more than what I had. Like, usually I have 5, 6 guys. I got like 3 for each team.
Okay.
And I only put a tight end or 2 in there because I couldn't not with what they had. But in the 2000s, Cardinals with Kurt Warner, Larry Fitzgerald, Anquan Bolden, they had a guy named Steve Breston, I think was either 85 or one of the first young or lower digit, number 15.
Michigan.
Had over 1,000 yards. Yeah, Breston. I think he was 7 at Michigan.
Yeah.
Anyway, he had over 1,000. They had Anquan and Fitz. Versus in the 2000s, the Falcons rolled out at one point Roddy White, Julio Jones, and I got to put the tight end in there, Tony Gonzalez. Or you know what? You're not liking Gonzalez. You want me to put Brian Finneran in there?
Well, it's unfair.
I
I mean,
could.
he's a tight end. So
Okay,
you said, well,
fine.
Could
I'll
then-
put
then-
Finneran
then-
in it. Finneran.
well, it's a different. I mean, if you're putting Gonzalez, then I'm taking Atlanta.
I'm putting Finneran in.
All right, so I'm taking Arizona.
86.
Yeah, Arizona's hard.
Because Fitzgerald was an absolute
How good
stud.
was Bolden for
and
those
Anquan
few years,
Bolden
though,
was
too?
an underrated player.
Hated the weight room.
Great player.
Was Bolden? Well, I know Fitzgerald was on the team, but was Bolden on the team in that classic Pittsburgh,
No, I don't
Arizona? No, they weren't.
He was
He was
just-
already gone
yeah,
by
he
then.
was gone.
You sure about that?
No, but
I'm not asking you
Fitzgerald
to
was
look
on.
it up. I didn't know if it was off the top of your head, but
Commish, who you got?
Arizona.
yeah, same.
Everybody Arizona?
Yeah. How about you?
Roddy and Julio? And Finneran, my guy? Going Falcons.
well, both third wide receivers are pretty much irrelevant. So
But one had 1,000.
had a year.
Well, that's the year I was talking about. All right. In the 90s, you guys know what's coming here. Lofton Reed, Don Beebe. In the 2000s, Steve Smith with the Panthers, Mushin Muhammad, Brandon LaFell. Go. Somebody.
I'll answer only because I'll go with the Bills, and I'm gonna preface it only by saying it's because I saw them so much more, me personally, but they played in a lot of big games.
I'll second that. Bills.
Lofton, Reed,
BB.
EB.
Kind of hard to go against the Bills, so I'm going to go with them too. But Steve Smith, Mushin Muhammad, and Brandon LaFell, number 17, was also a Patriot at one point. I mean, those are 2 big weapons, and Steve Smith, one of the toughest guys in any sport. I would take him to play shortstop right now for the Yanks.
You know me. I just take the guys that play in the guys that just play in. They played in so many big games. I mean, they didn't obviously get where they wanted to, but again, I'll go Bills. What do you got, Angry J?
I'd probably go Bills. I'll agree with Mac though with Steve Smith. He's underrated, like all-time player, basically unguardable for a few years there with Carolina. But if you're going Lofton and with Andre Reed, I'd have to lean towards Buffalo. Lofton's a Hall of Famer, and did Reed just make it too?
A few years ago, yeah. he
Yes,
made it finally.
there's 2 guys right there. So
Do you guys remember the Florida State wide receiver where they were calling it Free Shoes University?
Peter Warwick.
Peter Warwick. Okay, so I'm going to go in the early 2000s Bengals. At one point, I think it was 2001, we had Chad Johnson, also known as.
Ochocinco.
We had TJ Hushmanzada. You say Hushmanzada, right? I say Hushmanzada.
I always knew him
Underrated
as
player,
Usman
too.
Zada.
And Peter Warwick versus one of my favorites in the 1990s, whatever year, but these guys teamed up for a few. Herman Moore, Brett Perriman, and from USC, number 87, Johnny Morton.
I like Johnny Morton at USC.
I think we had the lefty slinging it to him. Scotty Mitchell at this point, right? Anybody?
As I'm a Browns fan, right?
Are you?
I always thought that Cincinnati team was going to be a lot better with those wide receivers. They had a ton of talent on that team. But for me, the guy that just, in the example that you gave was Herman Moore, just kind of elevates me toward going toward Detroit. I thought he was awesome.
Number?
84?
Yep. Perriman's number?
87.
87?
I thought Morton was 87. Perriman was 81. Might be wrong.
Morton at USC was something to watch. He
Although
never really, I didn't think, materialized the way that most of the experts thought he was going to.
Angry Jay, we going Lions or Bengals there?
I'll go Cincinnati. Chad Johnson was one of the better wide receivers for half a dozen years, even though he liked doing his own horn. But like I previously mentioned, I thought Hushmanzada was really underrated. Now, their stats got a little beefed up because they were always behind, but...
Yeah, that team should have been better, right? Those few years.
Mix in a defense.
Yeah.
Commissioner.
I'll go Bengals too.
All right, a lot of Bengals there. I'm going Lions. 2001 Packers. Greg Jennings. Donald Driver. By the way, very underrated. And James Jones. That's in 2001. Versus 2002. Greg Jennings, Donald Driver, and Randall Cobb. So basically, Jones or Cobb. Jones was long. Cobb was a little bit more possession. Who are you taking?
I'm going Cobb.
I'll go to Cobb Group too. Yep.
Yeah? I'll go with Jones. I want 6.
Our producer told us Anquan Bolden, his last year with the Cardinals was the Super Bowl. That was his last game as a
out.
Cardinal. 8 catches, 84 yards in the Super Bowl.
You guys know what's coming next.
Cowboys. Are we going?
Reggie Langhorne, Webster. No way.
Irvin, Harper, and
no. 80s Smurf. No, not the Smurfs. What do they call themselves? Fun Bunch.
Yeah.
Fun bunch.
But I'm only giving you 3. Gary Clark, Ricky Sanders, Art Monk versus in the 80s, Haywood Jeffries, Ernest Givens, Curtis Duncan.
I'm going with the Skins. That's a good one, but they just won big games.
Yeah, body work, Skins.
I'll go Houston. A little different, obviously, era. That Houston team was...
Moon slinging it.
Yeah, they kind of broke out the 3 wide receivers, pass on every down thing. I'll go with them.
Me too.
Put up huge numbers.
Not to mention on Tecmo, they were unstoppable. Hey, who was the
Ernest Givens was a terrific fantasy player.
who was the running back?
Lorenzo White.
Was it Low White? Yeah, it
Yeah.
was Low White. All right, I'm running out of these.
Did
but
they have Alonzo Highsmith too?
Yeah. Good call.
Greatest show on turf. Torrey Holt, Isaac Bruce, and we're throwing in my man Ricky Prohl versus Peyton Manning's bunch of Marvin Harrison, you know who's coming next, Reggie Wayne, and we're throwing in my man Brandon Stokely. Very comparable bunch.
Can you repeat the first ones again? Bobby Mack?
Yeah, Holt, Bruce, and Ricky Prohl.
Man, that's close.
I'll go. This is actually a pretty good comparison, but if you asked me who I'd want, I'd take Harrison's the best wide receiver, and Reggie Wayne was phenomenal too. So as good as Holt and Bruce were, I'll take those 2 guys.
I agree. If Reggie Wayne wasn't on Indy, no, you could take it either way. Maybe he was really good because Harrison.
Yeah.
But him as a number 1 would have been interesting too, because the ball was just distributed to so many guys. But I'll agree with you. I'll go with the Colts.
Same page. Agree with the Colts.
I'm going greatest show on turf,
Yeah,
man. I don't know if it's the coach or the scheme or whether they had Warwick Dunn, but the other guys had edge and like these were some offenses, by the way.
Yeah,
these
Marshall
were some
Faulk was pretty good too.
Oh yeah, he played on both of them, right? Played on both teams.
Yeah.
Immaculate grid right there. Last one. Early 80s to mid 83 to 86, the Marx Brothers in Miami Land plus one of my favorites because I had a million of his football cards. Number 89, Nat Moore.
One bar? Do you have a one bar helmet?
I don't think so. Not Nat. No. Versus for 1 or 2 years in the late 90s, you're talking about throwing to Randy Moss, Chris Carter, and Jake Reed, 86. What do you got?
I think the Vikings.
Agree 100%.
Yeah?
That's a no-brainer
Yep.
for me. Yeah, Randy Moss is, to me, the most talented football player I think I might have ever seen. Probably the second best wide receiver behind Rice. Chris Carter is a Hall of Famer, best hands. Out of
Jake
anybody.
Reed, no slouch either, right?
Yeah.
Nothing against Duper and Clayton and Nat Moore, but that's, again, different eras, but
Bad comparison. I should have put the Marx Brothers and Nat up against somebody in the 80s, but I mean, I guess I got to side with you guys, but I wanted some love or some run for my Dolphin guys. I mean,
love those.
Marino, dude.
Those are fun teams.
You
Who was the
remember
running
the
backs on
titles?
those teams?
Robert Smith, right? And
No,
Minnesota.
for the Miami.
Tony Nathan.
Number 22.
Yeah. And then, like you said, Robert Smith from
The Ohio State.
Number?
26.
Didn't play very long.
He played for somebody else.
He was
after
one of
that.
the first guys that really retired early, right?
Yeah.
Was that because of concussion or just choice?
Yeah, he was actually a smart dude and
Yeah.
realized he probably wanted to walk at some point.
All right, everybody. What a great night.
That was fun, man.
Listeners, can we get some comments, please? I mean, we're trying to make change here. We want to know how to best do it. You guys kind of suck by not putting the comments up. Like the sliding mitt's got to be illegalized. I mean, if you dive in basketball, should you have a diving mitt? I mean, get the freak out of here.
You ever coached first in a youth, like a travel team
No.
game? You stand there and they put their equipment. They hand you their equipment when they get the
You're
first.
walking back with a
You're walking
bag.
back like you're in armor. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, whatever, dude. And how many times did I really hit in the elbow? Honestly,
Yeah, one
Just
time I
get
guess
out of
it's
the way.
get out of the way, dude. Turn your back.
Stick your elbow out. How about that?
Yeah, Rudy Stein. I don't want to. It hurts. Angry Jay. Before we leave, who is your favorite Braves manager of all time?
Joe Torre.
Okay, who's second?
This old bastard they got now.
Schleicher or whatever.
Watch him up.
Schleicher.
Who else do you like? Who's your favorite Braves
Robert-
manager that wears number 6?
Robert Cox.
I don't know.
Played for the Yanks.
Robert Cox?
Did he really?
Yeah, he did.
Hey, I saw a video this week of Glavine warming up, and Mazzoni was sitting behind him in the bullpen. Did you guys see this? Fired up a dart.
Yeah, heater.
He fired up a dart.
Guy was a
Freaking-
rocking chair on the bench.
Thanks.
Sit still, man.
Thanks, everybody.
Jeez.
Crocker in the house. Loddy and Mac, cul-de-sac. Next time.